Hey guys and girls, it's me, Alex William Smith, better known to many of you as Jonathan Royle, hypnotist of magicalguru.com. Do yourself a favour, check out the links above or below this video. There's links to free gifts, there's links to hours and hours of free online video training, online audio training in all areas of hypnosis, NLP, hypnotherapy, stage and street hypnotism. Free gifts galore at the links above or below this video, and also check out details of my next forthcoming live, online, virtual interactive training seminar at ultimatehypnosiscourse.com. The links are above or below. If you want to watch almost like an edition of Through the Keyhole, check out what my office looks like now that I've got it ready for live broadcast and to inspire me to achieve the best. So just having a test run with the new equipment. We've got the options of the backdrop for Facebook Lives as such, where I could be sat at the desk but have this background broadcasting, and then I could use my phone, which I'm currently holding, but put it into this holder here, and if I just plug this in to the USB like so, I could then do my Facebook Lives there with the benefit of additional lighting. Dead bright, I'm doing it straight on the camera there, but there's different settings and it's all about where I'm sat and all that kind of stuff as to what type of lighting and how bright it will be in relation to where I'm sat. Well, that's one option. Obviously that will use the mic on the phone, although when I've got the right lead to connect it, I'll be able to use the bigger studio USB mic that's just come, which positioned there is great for when I'm sat down, but I could always move it over there like that and have it on top of there, so that when I am in the little backdropped performance area, I'm getting sound on the condenser mic from here direct to the live Zoom, Skype, Facebook group when it's launched, or whatever video broadcast mode. As I am broadcasting via the internet, via the webcam that's here that connects to the computer, but it's a 1080 it's HD high definition, that's the word I'm looking for. At the same time as that's transmitting over the internet for live seminars or whatever, I will also be able to record using the new camcorder, digital hard drive camcorder and tripod, so that I get a hard copy. So if anyone loses the internet at home, everything I'm teaching will be on video and I'll be able to add it to the members area and stuff for people who've attended said event. So I'll be able to broadcast via the webcam, via the internet live, and record on the video simultaneously. So I've got a hard copy that's not dependent on the internet. Plus I've got my audio MP3 recorder, so I'll have a tie clip mic on to record the sound. Plus of course I'll be able to have better sound because I'll be using a condenser mic. Whether it's sat down with the small light or whether it's using the bigger light, which we'll get the hang of, but trust me, when you see it from the point of view of how it's lighting me up rather than that, which looks overly bright, that means we've got the light, the cameras, the sound. Backdrop for Facebook Lives in position, which can be done with the phone or the computer, and of course the backdrop for doing the actual Zoom online seminars with hard copy video being done and hard copy audio at the same time as having lighting and sound and 1080 HD high definition internet webcam recording. So I'll just turn that off. So it's all coming together. Just a couple of gaps left at the moment, but by the time this video goes up, that gap will be filled with a picture of someone who was a great inspiration to me when I was younger. And this bit on the wall, when the thing's not there, will have another 9 photos. I'll explain them in the final bit of the video. But yeah, it's coming together, and I look forward to doing seminars for you all very, very soon. My entire office is geared up to motivate me, inspire me, and make me feel good, to make me more productive. So wherever I look, I see images, pictures, symbols, things that trigger off positive thoughts, feelings, emotions, energies, and thus ultimately help to make me more productive. I'll give you some examples. So, Darren Brown, excellent performer. On the bottom it mentions Andy Nyman, one of his advisors. That reminds me of the fact that Andy Nyman's seen loads of my training DVDs, has in fact also Anthony Owing, who was one of the founders of Objective Television Productions, and Andrew O'Connor and Michael Vine, all linked in there with Objective Productions, who looked at my TV series years ago, gave some advice regarding that, more importantly regarding my stuff. They bought pretty much all my DVDs over the years. They used elements of them in some of their TV shows, including a little bit in some of Darren's work, as well as loads in many of the episodes of Rajan and the Evil Hypnotists and other productions. So that triggers off memories and thoughts there. And the fact that I used to do a Q&A, Contacting the Dead type show as well. Penn and Teller, well, they're famously banned from the Magic Circle, and I am, if you search the internet, probably arguably the only person who's been booked for the Magic Circle and then banned from lecturing because some people kicked up a fuss about fake, fabricated, perceptively controversial nonsense. They should have known better being in show business. Also, we noticed there the 16th of August is mentioned, which happens to be my daughter Ashley's birthday. Siegfried and Roy, they're out in Vegas. A couple of links, because it reminds me of the time I was going to be doing a double act with a friend of mine, David R.K., who was very much Siegfried and Roy-fied. But also the White Tigers, because the White Tigers reminds me of Susan Lacey, the wife of, former wife of Martin Lacey, the lion tamer, who saved my life when the puma attacked me, ripping my ear off and scratching my back and head and all that when I was on Gandhi's Circus when I was 4 years old, and back in 1979 thereabouts, and he saved my life. And then his wife Susan Lacey, who has this track record of breeding white tigers highly successfully, helped clean me up and save my life basically. Got Wayne Dobson there, reminds me that his TV series Russ Stevens was an advisor, and that when Russ did a show Mystique in Blackpool, used to regularly go a lot of times as a guest of Russ, which was very nice of him. Also reminds me that when there was a charity day called Changing Places many years ago, I became Wayne Dobson for the day, doing shows in that style to raise money for charity. Also reminds me of the fact that Wayne sold a load of rights to a load of his tricks years back to Mike Donatta, and that in turn I've got permission off Mike to release some stuff that he acquired from Repro Magic. It's kind of linear, one thing links to another in my mind type thing. Max Mavin was one of the first lecturers I ever saw at one of the first ever Blackpool Magic conventions I ever went to, and he taught a technique which I'd later used in one of my versions, stage versions of any card at any number. So that really sticks in my mind. Jeff McBride, I saw him do his amazing mask act on the Paul Daniels Magic Show years ago, which really captured my imagination. Got to meet him at Blackpool Magic Convention, and one year he was very supportive, along with Eugene Berger and John Randall, in ensuring that I was able to go back into the convention after Derek Lever posted posters up that were defamatory, untrue, and tried to get me banned from the convention. But he failed. ultimately. And also Jeff was a great help when he was attacked and I was attacked along with other people with fabricated lies and nonsense on a website, Magic Leaks, which is now no longer exists. James Randi. It reminds me that years ago in Psychic News I was regularly in for my Contact in the Dead shows, and that we actually challenged James Randi for his $1 million foundation prize, and we never got a reply. So we used that in the media as that he was too scared to take me on, and it was great publicity. We move into the photo corner of the room. That's me with Chewbacca. And of course little Ashley down there. We're going to have to try and zoom in here. I'll zoom in and try and move up. Top there, that's me with Jay Noblezada, magical advisor to David Blaine, who came up with the self-tying shoelace. And in the middle is Richard Barker. This was on the first ever Hypnotist entertainment cruise, where I was the headline speaker and trainer. There's me with Penn Jillette in Vegas. Oh, try and get the focus a bit better. Me with my good friend David R.K., who, as I say, years ago I was going to do a double act with. We rehearsed illusions and stuff, and he was also involved with myself and Jamie Allen. He supplying Simon Drake even with the impaled illusion. With Teller in Vegas. It's weird hearing him speak, I tell you. In the middle is Max Kahn, who's currently out in South Africa. He's had a TV series there, Hypnotist, Neverland, the TV show. On the left is Chris Lee, somebody I taught many, many years ago, been a friend for decades. There's John Elford from London's Burning and Grange Hill fame, and that's after we saw Rupert Murdoch's disgraced fake Sheikh Mazza Mahmood get sentenced to a prison term for his lies and fabrication. Faye Presto, who years ago at Blackpool Magic Convention gave me a magic trick split decision and was very supportive. There's me with Luke Jamay at the Southern England Magic Convention, where I was performing and lecturing and did on a couple of occasions. That's me at the Magic Circle with Marvin Burglas, the son of Davy Burglas, who was my boss when I was working at Marvin's Magic years ago. And when I was working, I made in Bolton Debenhams more money in a single day than anyone else did in any other Debenhams or Kendalls or even Hamleys or Harrods. I made more in a day than they did in a week. It was a record that was set. Me with Hypnosis creator and Sky TV's Fat Families presenter Steve Miller, who promoted my Royle event in 2017, one of the most successful hypnosis events of all time. Me with my good magical friend Dave Turner, Dave the Magic Postman as we call him. It's my friends Ben and Michelle and Stu Pot, aka Harrison, the Hypnotist. Me with Rob Temple, who I taught years ago, Kennedy, Ken Dine, the Mentalist, and Stuart Cassells at Blackpool Convention. Me with Julian James, my magician, and Spiros Malaris, the creator of the alien autopsy hoax that fooled the world. That's after we'd been to a Magic Circle meeting and then went for a nice meal. That same wall, we've got my poster I used years ago for group smoking cessation and other things. I did them all in one event and made thousands of pounds in one night. And at the bottom of there, we've also got a poster from one of Peter Powers' shows. He was a hypnotist who has had loads of TV shows around the world. His personal friend. We've been out drinking together. He's booked me in the past to cover shows for him. And we first appeared on television together in January 1993 on Channel 4's cult TV show The Word. The side of the wall, that's me on ITV's top-rated morning show This Morning with Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby. That's me with the late Eugene Berger, who, as I say, was helpful in ensuring I got into the convention when Derek Lever was being ridiculous. That's me with Peter Powers, who I mentioned earlier. It's me with Jamie Allen, who, as I said before, along with David R.K., we supplied Simon Drake with his impaled illusion he used on his UK tour. It's me getting the Cabaret Magic Trophy from the president at the time, Alan Johnson, of the Order of the Magi, Britain's third oldest magic club. I've also, on another occasion, I won the close-up magic trophy and the best card trick on the same night. Held 3 trophies at one point. The late John Randall, who worked alongside Jeff McBride and Eugene Berger, and again was helpful at the convention when Derek Lever was trying to cause me problems in an unfounded manner. The legendary Max Mavin, Jeff McBride, we were both quite a bit younger there, James Randi, my wife Rachel on the right, Stuart Cassels, Harrison the Hypnotist on the left, and of course the legendary man himself, the late Paul Daniels, who I appeared on the Paul Daniels Magic Exhibition, well rather the Paul Daniels Magic Museum on the front in Golden Mile, the Golden Mile in Blackpool with my dad when I was about 4, and ironically inside the magic concession was run by Mark Lewis, the Svengali pitchman. Over there I've got my portrait that was painted of me by Mark Metcalf, the Saatchi award-winning artist. He does a lot of Gothic and avant-garde and mesmerism related portraits and paintings. Search Mark Metcalf and Saatchi on Google and you'll see his other work. He can charge up to £5,000 or more for commissioned work, so that's a treasured item. There's my Hypnotist pocket watch, very large wall clock. As you can see, I've got another clock there, that's the Magic Circle one, and I've got one over there which is from South Africa, which Max Kahn, who was pictured earlier, brought me when he visited in England. We've got Kelly the Magician there on the right. On the left, McKnight, Hypnotic Fun Show. I think that's self-explanatory because I'm a hypnotist and it shows you there's nothing new under the sun. And in the middle, Savas Leroy with his levitation. And it was Savas Leroy that inspired my stage name. Although my dad worked as Titty the Clown and as a stand-up comedian as Leslie Roy, that's not why I called myself Alex Leroy when I started out. It was because of Savas Leroy that I became Alex Leroy. And then Leroy's become an anagram because you get R-O-Y-L-E and that makes Royle, hence Jonathan Royle. There's Salvador Dali's pocket watch picture. That says Chimply Amazing, which is quite apt because when I was on Gandhi's Circus at sort of age of 4 and 5, every time I'd come up, well not every single time in every show, but once each time in the show there was a time I'd come off stage or be going towards the stage ready to perform with my dad as Flap the Clown, and the PG Tips, the British tea advert television chimps, would be coming off stage having done their bit, and one of them would always clout me around the head when its owner, presenter, call it what you will, wasn't looking and he was saying something to my dad. One of these chimps would whack me around the head. Clearly it was just being playful because I was short like they were, because chimps, if they really wanted to belt you, would knock you unconscious. So, Up on my wall we've got the late Tommy Cooper, and as it says at the bottom, he passed away in 1984. I was 9 years old at the time, and I was watching the live from the Palladium he was performing on live on TV. I saw him drop to the floor and I instantly knew before anyone else did. I said, he's dead. My mum and dad were like, what are you on about? He's going to do the gag with the feet where he appears to levitate up in the air. And I said, no, he's dead. And then sure enough, I just knew. There's my late magical mentor, Jack Griggs, who passed away last year in start of 2019. I think we'll go across. That's from the Magic Circle. I acquired that. I just find it hilarious, seeing as I'm banned because my lecture was removed. That is a gentleman called Marjo Gartner, who's named after Mary and Joseph by his evangelical preaching family. He did basically sort of contacting the dead, spiritual healing type evangelical shows, and then exposed himself as a fraud. A lot of similarities his upbringing to mine in some ways. That's my lifelong friend who passed away this year, earlier in 2020, Julian Gormley, aka Hypocrite. That was an affectionate nickname we had for each other. And he was my sound man for many, many years, doing sound technician work at my shows. We were friends from, blimey, about the age of 13. Put it in perspective, I'm 44 now, so there you go. Certificates and stuff from my daughter to me, and another monkey that I got given by my wife. There's little Ashley with my wife on the picture. Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo because there was episodes where there was like a hypnotist in, and there was episodes where there were evil magicians, and I just liked Scooby-Doo as a dog, and also people used to call me Shaggy at one time as a nickname. We'll go further down. We've got there on the left, we've got the late Peter Hill, who ran Prospect House Publishing and also the Mindcare Organisation UK Limited, along with myself. And he helped me bring numerous of my courses and products to the marketplace. And we are friends from about 1996. And he passed away last year. As or was it this year? Do you know, this lockdown's doing my head in. There's my mum and Ashley. Then we have Delavar, aka Gordon Mead's family name was Delarue. His parents and his grandparents were spiritualists, mediums, circus performers, and hypnotists, or as they were called then, mesmerist and suggestive therapeutic type people. And he originally taught me stage hypnosis and some hypnotherapy, although a guy called Brian Howard also taught me hypnotherapy when I got started. That's a friend of mine who's no longer with us, Des Sellers, the late Des Sellers from Stoke-on-Trent, who ironically, it turned out, he came to some of my training events. We became friends, and then it turned out that he used to live in College Bank Flats, which is where I bought my apartment outright for cash before I was 30 years of age. He used to live in one of the blocks there. For the record, that flat's, I no longer live in it. It's now producing a rental income, and I'm living in a house and working towards other... Oh, look, another Scooby-Doo! Down the back there, we've got the Wookiee, because I have been told that I sound, when I'm yawning, like a Wookiee, like Chewbacca. And then we've got Lucky Dragons from Myth and Magic and stuff. That's myself, my wife, and Ashley, my daughter. That's myself and my dad, aka Tizzy the Clown, the amazing Etna, Leslie Roy. Got that there. Uri Geller inspires me, and it was him that motivated me to come up with the idea of psychic belly button reading, and one of my first articles about that was in Uri Geller's Encounters magazine. Director's Cut, Penn Jillette's film, which I am listed on the credits of because I contributed to the crowdfunding. So that's there. Say the Clock from South Africa. Montage of Paul Daniels, who was really my motivation and inspired me to get into magic, and his electric chairs routine. Pure class, and he effectively taught me how to do that, but in different sections. He taught me one bit in his magic shop over in Wigan, then he taught me another bit at the Comedy Store in Manchester. David Copperfield, well, when he revealed to me he could do ventriloquism. David Copperfield, need I say more, and Doug Henning, both of whose TV specials on television as I was growing up were a great inspiration, magically. That is the poster for my documentary Extreme Danger, Extreme Hypnosis, subtitled It's Time for the Sleepwalking Zombies to Wake Up, produced by Brick in the Wall Media. That's Richard Alexander Willits and Danny Cotton. And that's available. Go to magicalguru.com, click on Extreme Danger, Extreme Hypnosis. You can watch the free mini web series, but then you can also go and get the feature-length documentary. Try and move around so you can see it a bit better without reflection. From Vimeo on demand and Amazon on demand. So 1 hour and about 1 hour 50 minutes documentary. Welcome to the Man Cave, speaks for itself. That's one of the posters for my hypnosis show, Circus of the Mind. Another poster, this being the one that I have backdrops projected with that on the back of the stage when I'm doing shows. And then my more gothic-y corporate hypnotist show poster. And then there's Egg Sausage Peas, ESP. And you'll notice the plate round, the sausages are the cross, the cutlery is the wavy lines, the egg is the square, and the star is the peas. EggSausagePeas.com, my comedy mind reading show that gives people food for thought. And then that's the poster from Television Without Frontiers, the performance art, documentary 4-part TV format thing that Andreas Ejigsen, the Swedish artist, came up with, and within which I hypnotise people, but I also appear sat in the audience in every episode as a nod to my media prankster past. That's the late Stan the Man, Stan Sunderland, who was kind of my spiritual advisor and also my accountant. He was for many years, but he's no longer with us, but he taught me a whole load about the occult and spirituality and stuff like that. I have the Houdini poster up because Houdini was one of the greatest publicity seekers of all time, kind of on a par with, only really equalled by, Uri Geller for the amount of regular worldwide publicity. But also we did underwater escapes, and I did one once to help launch Simply Pure Water Limited in Huddersfield in England, which my business partner and friend, the late Peter Hill, it was his company, Simply Pure Water, and to get it publicity I was going to do an underwater escape, and I did, except the container didn't show up, so I ended up in a wheelie bin, chained up with like 100-foot of chain, padlocks, leg irons, several sets of handcuffs, a neck slave collar, and I nearly didn't escape. I genuinely nearly died due to lack of rehearsal and the water being put in, freezing cold at the last minute, and near enough passed out, so I'm lucky to be alive. Another escape from death. Previous one being getting mauled by a puma at the age of 4. And other mad things during life, like getting attacked after a show and hospitalised. But hey-oh, we live another day. That's Alexander, the man who knows. That's there because my name is Alex. But I also used to work under the stage name Alex Alexander. And I used to do a Q&A act, as they called it, Contacting the Dead, a genuine clairvoyancy show that Psychic News deemed as me being the next Uri Geller and Doris Stokes rolled into one. We then have Mr. and Mrs. Herbert Flint. They were a double act years ago, double hypnosis act, quite relevant because I've done a few double hypnosis acts over the years. I used to do a double act with Peter J. Fox, Pete Glover. We did that at Idle's Wine Bar in Manchester in the very early 90s that went down a storm, and at a few other venues. Also worked with Chris Lee, on joint shows and stuff. But also you see that the people are in drag. He's got them hypnotised into being women. It shows that things are as old as the hills. There's nothing new on the planet. But also it reminds me that I've done hypnosis in drag in my TV show Life in the Bus Lane, where I become Mesmeralda, my own twin sister. You can see that on magicalguru.com. Thurston, the great magician, do spirits come back? Again, it's because I've done all the spiritualism. I've done ghost hunts. I've done paranormal investigation nights and stuff. That's my star on the Star of Fame database. Keller there, self-decapitating. Well, I used to do, reminds me of doing the electric saw through neck head zopper. Jack used his head zopper illusion, but I did that to thousands of people at the Ideal Homes exhibition in Manchester at the GMEX Centre when I was about 12 years of age, 12 or 13, and it was also broadcast on the radio and stuff. There's my star in the sky, named and registered on the database as well. Down here, a little bit dim because he's down hidden in a corner, is my magician, but it is wonderful. I don't have a coin right now, but let me just tell you that the hat moves down. You put a coin on the table there, you can pull a handle and the hat comes down, covers the coin, and then when the hat goes up, the coin's vanished, which is a wonderful gift that I was given by Stupot and Marcus, my friends. Around this corner of the cabinet we've got, in fact I'll just pull that out slightly. We've got that, which is Derek Lever is a big, undisputed national treasure. That's what it says, undisputed national treasure. Of course it does. Doesn't say anything else at all. Yeah, Derek's the guy who, as I say, got me, I tried to get me banned from Blackpool Magic Convention. It's made it difficult to get in. Fortunately now there's nothing else to do with it, and I'm back in there, no problems whatsoever. Then up here we've got various teddies. I love monkeys. I've got my Scooby-Doo down there. I've got things that my daughter's given me. Dad, you're a star. World's #1 dad. And whole bunch of other stuff that inspires me. Now, I didn't have room on my office wall for this massive Magic Symposium poster featuring Jeff McBride, but it used to be pride of place on the living room wall of the late Jack Griggs, my magical mentor, and it's now on my bedroom wall, which is situated right next to my office, so I regularly see it when I'm upstairs working. I'll pop in and just look at it for inspiration. Yes, indeed, it's Shaggy and Scooby-Dooby-Doo again, just above the headboard area of the bed in my bedroom. On my bedside table, I have my wizard Scooby who talks. Various different phrases. A savings tin, and that which is made from a Coke can and has been turned into an ashtray. I was given that by Rob Temple, the hypnotist. He got it for €1 shiny in Cos, back when I used to be a smoker, sort of over a decade ago, but don't smoke anymore. But it's there, yet another memory to look at. Right next to my laptop in the office, get a little bit brighter for you, is the face changing Chewbacca. I like it on the smiley face. And even down on little hidden areas I've got Scooby-Doo again. I store my wires and stuff. And this is a wooden pen engraved Dr. Jonathan Royle that one of my students from India, Dr. Ramaswamy, very kindly sent me. Crikey, I think it's close to 2 decades ago now. But that's pride of place there as well. Magic is literally everywhere. That's the International Brotherhood of Magicians logo. A big clip that I've just got randomly stuck on the notice board. And amongst the memories and teddies and stuff is needs a good clean at some point, but this is a tankard, as you can see, and I'm not sure if I can get that clear enough, but we'll try. You can see that it was presented to Jack Griggs by the British Magical Society in recognition of his bravery on the 25th of November 1976. This is when he apprehended some armed robbers all by himself without anything to protect himself while he was working as a police officer in Manchester, and the British Magical Society presented him with this tankard, which could do with a bit of a clean because it's a bit tarnished, but it is a beautiful tankard and a memory that was left to me in Jack's estate, which I treasure greatly. The latest 2 additions to the bottom of the door. Newman the Great was a hypnotist, a mind reader and all that kind of stuff. And I've got photographs of me when I was younger that look a bit similar. Am I the reincarnation? Who knows? And the Houdinis and their famous metamorphosis, substitution trunk illusion, something I used to do with the double act that we were putting together with David R.K. mentioned elsewhere in this video. I'm leaving the midsection of the wardrobes and those doors empty because that's where backdrop will go, as I say. But the outer edge, I've added these. We've got Newman's Wonderful Spirit Mysteries. Spirit cabinet going on there, something that I've done seances and stuff in the past and ghost hunts and paranormal nights. That brings back memories. Alexander Crystal Seer, as I said with the other Alexander poster, I used to use the stage name Alex Alexander, been featured in the media doing that, and also did a Q&A act. And over here, Thurston, the great magician, the wonder show of the universe. A couple of things. Balaam and his donkey. A boy, donkey and girl appear and vanish. Sounds quite intriguing, but the interesting thing is that Balaam, B-A-L-A-M, is the second name of the cartoonist Martin, who did the cartoons for my, you can see it there, excuse the thumb on screen, but those cartoons Martin Balaam did. And of course then we've got Houdini, King of Cards. A couple of new additions to the back of the office door there. Picture of Thurston performing what looks like an absolutely amazing levitation. Apparently she vanishes. Now that sounds a lot like Azra, but with Azra there's a cloth over, so is it theatrical license, this picture? Did a cloth get used, or is this some amazing long lost illusion? And then the master of publicity, Harry Houdini. And that just helps fill up that corner so that pretty much everywhere you look in the office there is something that inspires me, reminds me of things, triggers off positive thoughts, feelings, energies, emotions, and helps motivate me to get new ideas, create new products, and try and bring the absolute best to you guys and girls all around the world. So watch this space. There's more coming soon. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it looks like this man has boarded up his windows with very thick black card and black duct tape so that when they are closed, so we can still open the windows, but when they are closed, oops, hang on, else if we do that properly. When they are closed, they are very much blacked out like so. Thus meaning that no light can get through, so when the blind is down, like so, oops, try and get it in a bit more, there we go. But when the blind is down, the point is no light can get through, and that means I can put the backdrop that I've got over there that you'll see in a minute, and light doesn't get through and it makes a good filming backdrop. So now it's blacked out, light can't get in, and that makes a good filming backdrop, which you'll see in a minute. I can use this that's going to block out the mirrors on the wardrobe so that when I'm sat doing stuff on the laptop, behind me will not be reflected mirrors. It will instead now be a wooden backdrop, and frame right, it will just look like wooden back slats. But when needed, that can be moved, bulldog clips taken off, and moved across here, which, as you'll see shortly, will reach all the way to the floor and is the full width for nice filming. Hence I also got the nice purple and gold rug, so that there is a different kind of floory stage area for when filming stuff, so that the backdrop will meet, as you'll see very shortly. And yes, that is the window end of the office, except in that form it is now apparently a wooden boarded background with a nice purpley coloured different flooring to enable photography, filming, Facebook Lives, online Zooms, seminars and whatnot. Further in the area I've obviously got stuff up there, decor, but that's mainly going to be out of camera shot because I can frame it so that people just get the wooden background. Now when I want to, that wooden backdrop can go onto the wardrobe and thus cover up the obligatory mirrors, giving me a nice wooden backdrop central area, which although there, because it's hung up higher, it doesn't get all the way to the floor. It doesn't matter because when I am, as it were, sat down here, that will be behind me when I'm sat down. So that's cool. Multi-purpose backdrop. So just to illustrate, when I'm sat down at my desk, this is in sort of broadcast, if you were doing a Facebook Live form mode, and that way then it just looks like sat in the shed or a wooden outdoor office or something. Obviously before it was quite obvious, and it would be if I tilted the phone, that it's just the backdrop clipped onto the midsection of the wardrobe. But when you get the framing right, I'm in a shed or a timber building in the middle of nowhere. Who knows? But also, of course, when it's on the webcam that's in front of me, over there, it's in front of me, I can frame it up so that we get the wooden thing. But even if we did get a bit of wardrobe, it doesn't matter. The point is it's got rid of those mirrors, so it's a much better backdrop for doing online therapy sessions and other such stuff. So this is a test in normal camera mode, which if I frame it like that you see the edges, so I just need to position myself. But yeah, once I'm positioned, I can actually be in an area where I can be sat down comfortable and sharing stuff and teaching and blah blah blah, and this is without a light in normal camera position mode. Well, I'm going to have to play around with that light, but hey, and framing and stuff, but basically with the little LED light on the small one that's on the phone holder, it's considerably brighter, much better. It's going to take some experimenting, there's no doubt about that, but when I have got the experimenting done, which It's all going to be about positioning, but it can be done. Yeah, it's going to work. It's going to give me a nice sat down lit area, and also, as in the other shot, with a nice darker wood background for a little studio area over there. So when I'm filming down that end of the office, obviously I've got a lot of bright light coming from that light above. It is really bright in here, which is good. But I've also got some LED lights coming there, not here yet, which will help illuminate if need be. And also I've got this wonderful device which clips wherever I want it, and I have tested it. If I clip that on the drawers at the other end of the office and put a light in, it will shine the light upwards because of the angle up to the ceiling and bounce it off, giving a nice lot of extra white light for over there, which with the white light here and the LEDs that are coming will give really good lighting when I've got it all angled correctly. And this is just a test record sat on my office chair with the backdrop on the wardrobe behind me to see what it's like without light when I play it back. This, I've done the phone in portrait just for now, but hey-oh, we'll do one in landscape as well. We're getting much closer to completion. Much closer. So over here added we have, that's me with, you have to excuse the reflection on the glass from the office light, but that is when I first ever went to America. Brian Strackner on the left, who took me there over to America, to Sacramento and also into San Francisco for my first ever hypnosis training seminar in America. And that's when I met in person the gentleman in the middle, James Ellis, who was certainly the first stage hypnotist to ever have a website, probably the first hypnotist to have a website actually. And James kindly did a guest spot speaking at my Las Vegas seminar time in the future after that event. Then there's myself with television body language expert. Try and get an angle so I'm not getting the light from the office light. Robert Phipps, we've done seminars together and been to each other's seminars, great friend. Then there's myself with my daughter Ashley and television legend Timmy Mallett's Mallet from the Wide Awake Club in England. If you don't know that, search YouTube and you'll see why. When I was a kid I used to absolutely enjoy the show, and so did Ashley when we saw him live. It's my good long-time friend Paul Brady, from when I was literally in my when I was about 15, allowed me to have an office at Rochdale Hypnotherapy Centre that he ran, and then in 1993 promoted my first ever live training seminar for other hypnotherapists to come along and learn from me, which was a remarkable success, and he's been a great supporter and friend ever since then. Cheers, mate. And there we've got John Sabone and Richard Nongard. That's a picture of me with them in Manchester when they came over to do their speed trance event. That was in 2009, I believe. 2008 or 2009. In any event, I was there as a guest and to be their UK advisor on the British laws, the 1952 Hypnotism Act and all related legal elements like that. Self-explanatory. My amazing wife and my even more amazing daughter Ashley and myself there. That is awaiting the picture to arrive of someone who was a massive influence on my magical career when I was young. All will be revealed shortly. Myself and my good friend Cal de Rome, who, like myself, used to be banned from Blackpool Magic Convention because of the... You can see it on his t-shirt. Yes, indeed. That was at Southern England Magic Convention that I performed at in the gala show and lectured at a couple of years in a row. There I am with the This Morning life coaches, Nick and Eva Speakman, who my company KMA Public Relations, got them into Lancashire Life magazine, a few other publications, and did Contact TV and help get them more known than they're already known, including along the way my Complete Mind Therapy non-specific treatment script is used under license with permission from myself for their Key to Your Mind audio compact disc that's available on Amazon and other outlets. And I also help promote their first couple of live training seminars, including the one and only they've ever done to date that I'm aware of for actual professional therapists. And they do have a DVD, You Can Be Cured, that I acted as a consultant on. And there's myself with Jay Noblezada, magical advisor to David Blaine. That's when we stopped on the beach in the Bahamas. And following that, that was part of the Hypnotist entertainment cruise that Richard Barker, the incredible hypnotist, booked me to be the first ever headline speaker on. And then after that, Jay booked me and took me to Las Vegas to do an event over there. Another picture frame there on the wall, that's just awaiting a limited edition Houdini print to arrive from a good colleague of mine and friend, Jay Fortune. More will be explained soon. There will be an image going there, and at some point in the future something there, but we are actually really getting close to all the logical visible spaces being nicely complete with stuff that's been shown in more close up during some point of this video, which means that we're very close to me being ready to start doing events with the backdrop up there, and just try and get that there. Yeah, very close to me starting to do events, so watch this space. So just added down in the corner near Peter Powers' poster is Ken Webster, Hypnotist, and this is when he was doing his Mentalism show, one which I gave him some advice on one or two bits to use in the show. Most recently in 2020, I did a great interview with Ken on my hypnosisweek.com channel, which you can check out at hypnosisweek.com. The first hypnotist I saw in a theatre, not the first hypnotist I saw perform, because I was already seeing other hypnotists perform and I was actually doing shows myself, but in around circa, about 1990, circa that time. So Andrew Newton, and ironically, it's well over a decade ago now, but there came a time later in life where I actually promoted the first two seminars, one in Manchester, one in Birmingham, that Andrew ever did teaching other hypnotists his techniques, and also brought to market his first ever video, DVD, an audio training package, which is no longer available. Indeed, of course, it is Paul McKenna, which ironically, who was taught by Andrew Newton. But anyway, Paul McKenna, I was on GMTV with him in 1994, but sadly he refused to stay in the same green room as me, so I ended up doing 2 slots that morning, both at the prime time, because Paul did his one and then went home instead of doing the later one, which I ended up doing. So thank you very much for that extra airtime that did a lot of positive for my career, and also thank you for all those times when you were running McKenna Breen Limited and loads of your seminar, what do you call them, facilitators, people who helped out at the seminars and worked at McKenna Breen Limited, submitted their application forms to the Mindcare Organisation UK Limited to get my Complete Mind Therapy and Stage Hypnosis course, and when they said where had they heard about it on the form, they put that you had told them about it at McKenna Breen, so that's greatly appreciated. Yes, that's one of my first ever 10x8 publicity photos, when I used to use the name Alex Leroy, and that was circa about, that particular photo is about circa 92. There was some predating it, but that's the one from about 1992, I would say. And that's what was the 10x8 from the early 90s. Again, it's Jonathan Royle, but in the name Mind Magician, both for using for my Mentalism and mind reading show, but also for when I was doing mind magic shows that looked like hypnosis, but I could circumvent the 1952 Hypnotism Act to perform legally within the laws. That's a picture of me on stage doing a jumbo card trick on the stage of the world famous City Varieties Theatre in Leeds, and the video of that is somewhere on my YouTube channel, Celebrity Hypnotist. That's me outside the now sadly closed down AXM nightclub, massive venue in the heart of Manchester's gay village, where I performed a double act with Harrison the Hypnotist for Gay Pride a few years ago. The video is on my website magicalguru.com on the Stage Hypnosis page. There's me a few years ago meeting up with Ken after one of his shows at the Horseshoe Show Bar, after we'd had a few drinks together before the show, and what a great show it was. Jonathan Royle, the man, the myth, the legend. That's me stood outside the Forest Forum at the second Byline Festival, mass music, entertainment and truth festival run by Byline Investigates and Byline Publications, who bring you the truth in the news. The next one down is, there's 100 people in that audience behind me, all hypnotherapists, psychotherapists, television life coaches, you name it. It was at the Royle event organised by Steve Miller in 2017. Very memorable because I got two, not one, but two standing ovations. And you can get the videos from that free of charge by going to hypnotismexposed.com or going to magicalguru.com, clicking on the page that says free stuff, and then follow for the free videos. And that's an image of me with a total of 5 people asleep in chairs and one lay on the floor. And that was during my segment from Television Without Frontiers, the several-part documentary series performance art project I did for Andreas Ejigsen in Sweden. And my clip section of that can be found on, well, if you go to magicalguru.com and click on Television Without Frontiers, you can certainly discover more. When I changed my name from Alex Leroy and changed the Leroy into, it's an anagram, Royle, that was my first 10x8 Jonathan Royle, King of Hypnotist picture. This is an image of an old style hypnotist mesmerist doing full body catalepsy. And here is another image, a different one, except while they're doing the catalepsy, they're breaking the stone on the chest. These are both things I've done. In fact, if you go on magicalguru.com and click on hypnosis shows, you'll see on the promotional video at the top of the page, there's numerous examples of full body catalepsy at the end of the video. It's something I don't do anymore. I've removed it due to health and safety reasons, but in my youth, it was part of the reason I got the reputation of the British bad boy of hypnosis, even though I did it in a completely safe, health-assessed manner. So yes, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. We're just waiting on the photo to come to go in that frame and the picture to go in there, and then I will show you what those are, and then this video will come to an end, as everywhere that anything's going to go will have been covered. Except for the ceiling. Well, incidentally, I forgot to mention earlier, but that is the lead going to the laptop. Yes, it's official. This is wired all the way around the house, down the stairs, and downstairs to the internet router. So we've got LAN internet. In other words, I have got wireless internet, but this is cabled in, which makes it a more stable internet, which is better for doing the live online seminars. A few final additions to this corner of the office. Firstly, a picture of, it looks like me, but it isn't me, it's David R.K., my friend, who along with myself and Jamie Allen devised this version of the Impaled Illusion, which is the one that you saw a picture of earlier with Simon Drake on, that we actually supplied to him. This is the exact sword and prop before we sold it to Simon Drake. And then that was when I was Alex Leroy Magician. That's in my teenage years, early teens, with a sword cabinet illusion. It's a sawing lady in half morphed with a 12 swords and a couple of poles going through. That's when I did an illusion act. Around that time I also did a dub production act, as you can see on magicalguru.com when you click on the magic page. Then we have my dad there, Tizzy the Clown, and me, Flap the Clown. That's when I was 6 years old, but I started as Flap the Clown, aged 3 and just over 3.5. Actually, no, less than that. It was about September, October, November, December. About 3 years and 4 months old when I made my stage debut as Flap the Clown. And the first proper circus was Gandhi's Circus, but this is when I was 6, and this ended up, I think this, well, not this picture, but this, yeah, no, this ended up in the Manchester Evening News, and that led to the Daily Mirror. And then at the age of 8, I was on Granada TV as Flap the Clown and various radio shows, but I was actually first in a national newspaper in 1975, August 1975 to be correct, when I was born. The World's Fair on their circus page mentioned I'd been born. And again, obviously, when I was just around 4 years of age, I was mentioned in there when my ear got ripped off by the puma, and also for the fact that I was the youngest circus clown performing at the time. There we are, where I have all the trophies when I had all 3 of them at once, namely the Cabaret Trophy, the Best Card Trick, and the Best Close-Up award. I had them all at the same time from England's 3rd oldest magic club, the Order of the Magi in Manchester. That's a still from the intro of my European television series, Life in the Bus Lane. You can see the full series for free on the television series page of magicalguru.com. And you'll see me in drag as Mesmeralda, my own twin sister. That's me winning the Cabaret and Trophy and the President of the Order of the Magi at that time. And the frame has now got it in. Harry Houdini. Limited edition print from J Fortune, specialist portrait artist. You'll find him on Facebook. He also used to host Radio Magic, the radio show that I was on and interviewed on. And you can get the book Radio Magic from Magic Dealers with the transcript of the interview in there. Yeah, excellent. Some final additions to the door. Houdini's water tank escape. Pretty self-explanatory. A playbill of Calang. The Hippodrome in England. Another sign, that's a signed Houdini picture. Kastner. European illusionist. Jasper Maskelyne. Houdini from one of his films. And then a comedy sort of seaside hypnosis postcard where the hypnotist has been asked to shut up a guy's wife. And then on the other side, Houdini escapology poster. The Great Lyle at the Hippodrome in England. Cover of Houdini's souvenir programme. Faust. Now, Faust's real name was Granville Taylor, and he lived in an area of Lancashire. That brings back memories, because all his props that he sold, at the end when he retired, a load of them were bought by a friend of mine, Rodney James Piper, and were used in the show at the House of Illusion in Salou, or most of them can be seen in the VIP bar there. Some great examples of excellent illusion props. The Great Levant. Another picture of Houdini. And another comedy hypnosis postcard. This one saying, "Would you like the next trance miss?" The idea of the hypnotist hypnotising women. Which reminds me, I've got a book out called Hypnotism and Sex, teaching you psychological techniques to increase your success. And finally it arrived. This is Bill Thompson. Bill Thompson, no longer with us. ran the House of Secrets, first on the Promenade in Blackpool, then it moved to Corn Street, Caunce in Blackpool, until he unfortunately passed away. Bill was a great inspiration when I was younger and growing up, and one of his main bits of advice was to buy magic books and find material there rather than buying props. He said even if you only get 1 or 2 routines out of a magic book, you will have still got way better value for money than just buying a prop, and also you'd be more likely to performing something that other magicians weren't, because as he also said to me, if you want to hide a secret from a magician, put it in a book. And that completes this wall of fame, memories and stuff, and indeed the rest of the office is now ready for maximum inspiration. So if you haven't done already, visit the links above or below this video, grab all your free gifts galore, get the training videos, get the training audios, check out the discounts as well, check out details of the next live training events which will be done from this Soho office, SOHO, small office, home office, which is now also a recording and live transmission studio where I'm surrounded by all the positive energy I need. And as I say, oh yeah, by the way, all my props and stuff are in these wardrobes behind us. That's where my stage costumes are. My hypnosis show, mentalism and magic props, everything's there. So with that in mind, from me, Alex William Smith, better known as Jonathan Royle, bye for now.